sampling was a massive, that started, I don't know, first samplers came out in the sort of early 80s, 83 or something. And that's something that, everybody grabbed onto as a kind of an incredibly powerful tool, either for creating your own sounds. We did a lot of, when I was working with Depeche Mode at the studio, we didn't really use it for sampling records, but we made our own sounds and sampled them and tuned them, and that was an unbelievably creative, continues today, really, the whole sampling side of things. The next big revolution, I guess, was being able to use software synthesizers and laptops or computers, and being able to have an electronic music studio in your laptop wherever you are, and that grew very quickly. And there's now, of course, thousands of plugins, and so you can sit on a plane and have a whole electronic music studio in front of you and make a record, and as soon as you get to the airport you can upload it.
So I'd say Logic has absolutely been a game changer, because I used to make all my music on an Atari, and in fact we made the first 2 Faithless albums on an Atari. It wasn't until we made Electrospective, our 3rd album, that we even graduated onto a Mac. So yeah, even behind that, a MacBook Pro changed music making for all of us, probably.
It's a tough one, because not being a producer, I have a lot of pieces that mean a lot to me as a fan and as a listener. So maybe I think if I had to focus in on that, the most important piece of gear for me probably would be a Yamaha board. So probably like the DX7 and more of the FM synthesis. Being a big Brian Eno fan, his sound and the warmth that came off that, pulling back records that you think are choirs and finding out that they're tape loops, or their technology that creating sounds to sound like tape loops. The FM synthesis for me that came from Yamaha really had this draw of warmth, but also took you to a different place in an alien soundtrack way. And that was really key for me, for especially a lot of records that came out of Detroit that were born from a few pieces of gear, but were used in a very futuristic way.
I think one of the most breakthrough new technologies that came in was the age of the first, let's say, the sampler were the first big drop of creating an ability of doing new style of music. You could rip off like something from anywhere, putting it into a machine, and use this as a drum or as an instrument or as a part of the track, which didn't exist before. You could do it. You used to do this cutting tapes, cutting old things, but the sampler was the big thing that came out.